Welcome to Enlightenment of Change on webtalkradio.net. I'm your host, Connie Whitman. So I hope as you listen every week that you really start to use the tips, strategies, and ideas from my guests to help you shift the way you think and the way you live your life. So to help you on that journey, of course, I have a gift for you. You know, I love giving things away. Go to my website, whitmanassociates.com, and put in whitmanassociates.com/CSA for Communication Style Assessment. Great tool for you to see how you communicate, how you show up, how you interact with other humans, because that's who we're talking to. And it tells you your superpowers. It also tells you your blind spots. And for me, I think the blind spots are probably more important so we don't keep shooting ourselves in the foot. So go to whitmanassociates.com/CSA, my gift to you for tuning in every week. And of course, email me with any questions. You know, I'm here. So of course, do that. Let me throw that out there. And because I am so demanding of my peeps that listen to me every week, if you're loving the show, please subscribe so that you don't miss an episode, and share with your peeps so that they get to hear the enlightenment that my guests and I bring to the table. Now, my motivational quote today actually is by my very cool guest herself, and it's Regina Carey. Says, in order to make any change in our lives, we must be willing to let go of what's holding us down and keeping us stuck. Much of that work begins with our language. So, do you dream about a new life with new possibilities and all these amazing opportunities? I have a feeling that many people who tune in perhaps don't even realize that their dream could be reality and that their future simply takes that little leap of faith. So today, like I said, my guest is Regina Carey. Regina teaches people to, and I'm going to do this in quotes for the people listening and in caps, leap. L-E-A-P. She teaches people to leap. She calls herself a passion instigator and a language disruptor, which I could vouch for. Regina is an empowerment coach. The goal of her work is to educate, empower, and advocate for those who feel stuck, yet long to leap. L-E-A-P, again in caps. Regina creates the space and energy for people to do the work of growth, decision-making, and dancing with fear. Her methods focus on moving forward, again all caps, paying close attention to language in caps, and letting go of all the crap, capital C-R-A-P. She has the capability to light a fire in your belly in less than 15 minutes and has been described as a natural dose of an antidepressant for people. Again, I could vouch for that. Please help me welcome my amazing friend, Regina, to the show. You're a nut. I'm so excited to have you, and I love that introduction.
Wow. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I love that. I wanted to hit I have a button I could hit for the applause, but you wouldn't hear it. I give myself a standing ovation all the time.
You crack me up. So let's, and notice, if for those of you that are watching on YouTube, she put behind her, she has a flip chart and it says, let go with an exclamation point. And this is a tough one, Regina, letting go, you know, of all of our crap, because we like our crap, we like our story, it's comfortable. So you, when I first met you, you used the word plyovation, right? And I'm glad to see you trademark that, my friend. But plyovation, let's start by what that means, because it's a cool word, but it's really got an amazing meaning behind it.
Thank you so much. Plyovation marries the idea of plyometrics, which is jump training. Now, while I have been an avid health nut my whole life, because my father dropped from a massive heart attack at 56, and I swore that was not going to be me, and I broke that pattern and improved my heart health, and I believe I'm helping women do that through this program. Plyovation marries the idea of jump training, plyometrics, and motivation, really all the Asians, you know, inspiration, activation, innovation. It brings together women who are ready to jump outside their comfort zones, who are ready for something different. And I swear, after a pandemic, we are all ready for something different. Yeah. We have spent time with ourselves. There's this inner dissonance, like we can feel it. And And this, what I've done with this program is drawn it across 9 months. It's really significant in the gestational 9 months of growth, of creating a new life. And then I take a spin on it with the workout, and we go through 2 months of conditioning, 2 months of strengthening, 2 months of performance, and then 2 months of rest and recovery. So at the end, when we celebrate and graduate at the end of this in the 9th month, you've really rebirthed a brand new you, because it takes that time. We plant seeds all along the way, but it takes time to release, to let go. Some people do it right out of the gate, and other people will call me months after they've graduated and said, I finally did it. I get it.
Why? See, that's so fascinating. Some people are like, yep, let's do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off, jump in the deep end, move it. Okay. That's probably about 20% of your clients, if you had to break it down. I bet the 80%, right? It's the 80-20 rule. So I bet about 80% find it that just a little bit more difficult. Why do you think there's that disparity of run, jump, let's do it, and the people who just find it harder to get that movement forward?
Yeah, I really believe a lot of it is stemmed in grief. We work through those grief cycles on our own timeline. And my mother's a therapist, and she always reminds me, we don't do grief. Grief does us. And so we never know when some of that is going to resurface. But the people are all different. We've all started stuff. I mean, look at, New Year's resolutions. Look at starting a new training program or an eating program. I just told you I'm starting a new eating program. We're very excited at the get-go.
Yes.
And when we do it together, I mean, these cohorts are powerful because we do it together. But when we start to feel that discomfort, some people have that programming, their grooves, their neurological grooves are a little bit deeper. And it's so much easier and safer and more comforting to fall into those grooves and use it as an excuse to prevent growth. We're not ready. And so that it takes time.
Yeah, it does. And do you find, at least this is what I find with my clients, right? When we're talking about sales, my topic is sales, right? Yours is all about that, I think you're all about the mind, body, soul improvement and kind of like, showing up bigger, right? And what that looks like. And for me, mine is the business, mine is the sale, right? I always want people to make more money. And for me, more money means we could show up bigger in the world. So kind of our objectives are the same. It's just that our topics or our implementation is a little bit different, right? But the end result is just showing up bigger, better, doing more in the world. And I find with my clients, it's really hard to get that pivotal shift in the mindset of going from, I feel horrified and icky to ask for my business. Why, if what your business is amazing? So it's the same thing here. If what the outcome that, Regina, that you're talking about right at the end of this 9 months gestation period, why do we hold back when we know, it's going to be better? What do you find like is that yin yang, that push pull within people?
It's the fear, for one, for sure, and the playing the outcome. I mean, one of the first things we learn is we've got to stop playing the outcome. We don't get to catastrophize everything in our lives. We think that if we step out, not only bad things might happen, but what is my family going to think of me? And how is it possible that I could break away from my husband who I've had a terrible relationship with for the last 18 years? What is he going to say if I start acting different? Or we're afraid of what people think. We're looking to other people, especially with all the technology that we have right now. We are looking at people on Clubhouse. We are looking at people on Instagram, on Facebook, all these highlight reels, and we think, everybody's doing it better than I am. Yeah. And so why should I bother? So I teach how to drop the comparisons. I teach how to let go of the outcome and be right here, right now is all we need to be thinking about in this space.
Yeah, yeah. The comparaphobia is really it's really horrifying. It's funny, my kids are 21 and 24, and the two of them, they're not on Facebook anymore. They tease, they go, "It's for old people like you, Mom." But honestly, they're really disconnecting from the social media because they say it's just such BS. You don't know what to believe. People are constantly putting crap out there to make themselves look better, and why it's such a lack of reality that they're choosing to step away. So I'm proud of them that they're able to use their own minds, right, and formulate their own decisions. But it's really hard because the media, the social media, we're bombarded as humans. We're bombarded, and that comparaphobia, Regina, it's hard. It's really hard. What are
Yes.
oh, go ahead. You wanted to say something, then I have a
Well,
question.
I was gonna. First of all, I have two daughters, those same ages, 21 and 24, and I
Okay,
have a
so I'm not.
13-year-old.
Wait before you.
Yeah.
Let's get them married. Great gene pool. Just saying, my kids are. No, I'm teasing. My kids are probably. If they listen to the show, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm going to kill her." They're horrified.
No, I mean, I'm very proud of my kids. It's been amazing to watch them grow up
Yes.
with technology, and they
Yes.
also know what I teach and preach. I tell people, some of the most horrifying looks I get is when I challenge women to stop putting anything out, stop posting on Facebook for a week. Just take a week hiatus from it. And I said, you know what? No one is going to call your phone or text you and say, "Hey, I noticed you haven't been posting on Facebook this week." They're not. They don't care. It doesn't matter. We are off to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Where do you want to put your energy? We've got to start putting it back on ourselves. If we took half the energy we put into other people and focused it on ourselves, magic, you know?
It's
Growth.
true. And you're not saying be selfish. You're saying find the balance of not overgiving, but not overtaking either. Because a lot of takers in the world too, right? But it's finding that balance of giving and taking, but exchange of good energy, right? Not depleting yourself, which I think men deplete themselves too. So guys, if you're listening, this all applies to you as well. Don't think that you're so wonderful that what we're talking about excludes you. Not. You better listen to, right? Or listen for your
Absolutely.
wives or your daughters especially. What are typical challenges that people who come and work with you, what do you find that are and they might not be typical, but I'm sure you see recurring stories or recurring situations when they come into the program. Like, what do you have to break through with them?
Enoughness. So at the core of everything, we feel like we're not enough, not this enough, that enough.
Yeah.
Women who are absolutely like going through the motions. They've stopped trusting their guts, and they're just kind of moving through the world like a sponge. Wherever they are, they soak up that energy, do what they're supposed to do, get all that life squeezed out of them. They go into the next space, soak up that energy, what they're supposed to, and they're not present in their own lives. They are terrified. They are terrified to make a change because of of what the rest, like I had mentioned, what the rest of the people in their lives are going to say. And women are always comparing themselves. And so as long as we stay in that looking left, looking right, to figure out where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I especially find this with women who have invisible disabilities. And I know we're going to talk about that eventually, but when you're coming in and you already have anxiety, you have depression, you've got some social anxiety or a learning disability going on.
Yeah.
This is how kids grew up in school. They looked around to see what people were doing and they would act accordingly. And then when those people grow up and they decide to have a voice, they don't know how to use it. And so finding the voice is a huge part of the work we do. Being able to stand up and speak your truth, speak about who you are and what you're made of, not what you do.
Yeah.
Who you are, the being.
Yeah.
And I think the pandemic has really helped us learn how we are as human spirits, truly.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because my husband and I talk about the pandemic and like where we were a year ago. Because now, right, March was about a year that everything kind of shut down, at least in the United States for my listeners. And my husband and I often talk about, look at where we were, look at what we're doing differently, look at the change in the kids, look at the change in my business, look at the change in his world. And we reflect on that. And I really, really believe, now listen, I am not saying that COVID was a tough year. People, were dying. I mean, it was a rough year, right? But I also think we were forced. Somebody said on Facebook last year, and it cracked me up, but it's so true. Mother Nature was so PO'd at us that she turned around and put us all on a timeout and sent us to our room, right? What a great visual, because I thought it's really true. But within that, sending us, taking us as social beings and removing us from that noise, right? That constant noise of go here, go there, kids to hockey. My kids played hockey, right? Kids to hockey, do this, do that, right? Work, food shop, go to Costco, do this, do that. We're running. We never stop and pause and reflect. And I think COVID forced many of us to just pause and reflect that we hadn't done in years. So I do believe that more people are a little smidge more enlightened. And I think we're talking about it a little bit more. And we're talking a lot about mindset more, which I think came out of that whole COVID craziness, right?
I agree. I absolutely agree. And you know what? It caused a lot of discomfort in people.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things I think my clients do is spend time by themselves, because you really start to see things and learn about yourself in ways that you would distract otherwise.
That's right.
We go out and fight. We feel something and we're like, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to go, like you said, go to Costco. I'm going to go run an errand, or I'm going to go out, or I'm going to self-medicate, whether you're drinking or you're smoking or whatever you're doing. Netflix binging, the soft addictions that take us away from listening to our bodies. And I truly believe our bodies never lie. Our bodies are truth tellers. Yeah. And so we've been able to spend time with them, and some of us have more of the body after COVID that we've spent time with, that we're trying now to work out of our, but
yes,
right. COVID-19.
You're so funny. Yeah. The COVID-19, like the freshman 15, we got the COVID-19. Yippee-ki-yay. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
What outcomes do you see? So I totally get the fear. The depression is real, right? We're seeing more and more. And I know in the corporate, because I play in corporate and with businesses, right? Small businesses. But with the corporate, there's a lot of conversations about mental health. But the mental health is, I'm sure there's still schizophrenia and stuff like that. But the mental health now is depression, the bipolar disorders, things that are becoming more prevalent because of all the stressors in life, that we are getting more depressed and all these things, and self-medicating or going and getting medication, Prozac and stuff like that. So with all of that, it's real, right? I'm not minimizing that. Everybody listening, I'm getting it. I'm understanding it. I'm really empathizing with that. But going through the program, what's the flip side where you see where people dealing with all of that stuff, that emotional stuff, where do they come out the other side? Can you give us some examples?
I do track my people. I actually give them health screenings, like, how are you feeling in your body? Are you happier? Are you feeling healthier? Every single one of the graduates of the program, happier, healthier, more confident than ever before in their lives. And what that means is that they did let go. They did let go of something. I had a client actually let go of a relationship with her parents. It was very toxic, and she knew it. And she said, I have finally let go of that. I'm okay with that. And it made me a better mother. It made me a better friend. I have somebody who came out of her shell as a businesswoman. She used to stay behind the scenes in a tech business she had with her husband. And now she's in the forefront. She wears the heels, drives the Mercedes, has a seat at the table, and everyone else at the table is a man. And she was very afraid to use her voice at the beginning, and now is speaking up and co-running this business with her husband. I have women who have started new adventures in their lives, started their new businesses, walked away from their day to day. It is this mindset transformation. I believe I am enough to do this. I am enough to be this. I am enough to speak this. I help women learn that they've got permission. And sometimes I even have this, Connie. I have a magic wand that I wave, and I wave it in front of these people and say, "Bing, you've got permission. Make a new rule for your life. Start living today." And they do, but it takes more than the day. It takes the 9 months and even then some.
Yeah, and I know, here's the thing, Regina, people are listening saying 9 months. What? Here's the reality. What you're talking about, this is deep-rooted mindset shift. We all have so much crap, man, that we've lived through ourselves, right? From when we were children, whatever those beliefs that aren't serving us anymore. We all hear the same rhetoric, right? Oh, you have beliefs that aren't serving you. You need to let them go. Okay, great. I understand how, right? Now they're doing research that they're finding that we are transmitting beliefs through our DNA. Okay, great. We go back 14 generations. Holy moly. So now what was happening in the time of the dinosaurs, if you go back 14 generations, probably dinosaur days, they were running from the saber-toothed tiger, right? So whatever that fear that they were feeling through the DNA now, what is that translating to me right now? So everything we're talking about, and I just want to comment on this, Regina, the 9 months, it's probably even, and kind of said it at the beginning, some people it's even beyond the 9 months before they fully step into that transformation, because we have lifetimes of these deep-rooted beliefs. It's not like, yes, you have a magic wand. I love that, because I do too. My markers when I train, I go, and here's my magic wand, and I dub you. You're not afraid of sales anymore, right? But so I love the magic wand idea. But the reality is, peeling back our onion, as you peel back one layer, there's 20 more. And then beyond that, there's 40 more. And so this is really not easy work. So I think 9 months is probably not even long enough. That's why, and I mean, I think it's good for them to learn what they need to learn and apply, and then they need to continue to practice. It's not like 9 months and they're done. The practice continues for a lifetime.
Yes. And
right?
and you know what? Once you're in my energy field, you're always there. You're going to be there. My people are still working with and together. We actually started a Master Leap program, which is my version of the mastermind. But what you were saying there is so important. And one of the things that I teach everybody is that idea, that practice of Ho'oponopono.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I knew you would know Ho'oponopono.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
Yes.
And this is work that does release that ancestral sort of behavior, that genetic makeup. And for everything and everyone who has come before us, who has taught us to behave in this way, to live this way, to think this way, we can break those. We can break those bonds with the forgiveness. And again, goes back to letting go. And, even the idea, like you said, the selling is helping. Women are naturally helpers. We want to help and make better. And when we stay quiet, may I give you an example of somebody who's in the program right now?
Of course.
She interviewed for a big award today. And this award was not only going to give her money in her business, but it was going to put her at the table with thought leaders, with people who could support her and give her insights and make her business even bigger. Well, I'm a client of hers. And I said, you don't get to stay quiet. This isn't it. She was shying away because, I'm not big into awards. I don't want to. No, it's not about you. It's about everybody coming up behind you. It's the path that you're creating for the people who are praying for you to show up for them.
Absolutely.
If she's bigger and supported, that means I am. She's bringing everybody up with her. And if we shift like that and think we are doing the work of the people who are coming up from behind us, Brene Brown talks about that. Build that path, mark that path, because people are behind you going, please make it clear. Please help support us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about being fearless. And this, again, everybody, this isn't something easy to do, but we really do have to be fearless. And it's funny, you're talking about like bringing that energy forward, like stepping into that greatness of energy. I don't know if Regina and I have never met physically, right? We're in different parts of the United States, but I'm 5'11" and I'm big. I'm a big human, right? 5'11". Think about that. And I'm not 5'11" with this tiny little petite frame. I'm 5'11", let me tell you, and I step into it, right? So I giggle, and I've said this before on the show, but I have to tell you, and I used to be self-conscious. Now I'm not anymore. My energy is as big as my size because I love so deeply everybody that comes into my orbit. Like my clients become my friends, right? And I say, you're in my family now. Like, I love you, but because that's just who I am, right? That's my energy. But anyway, my husband and I are walking through, Kohl's, doesn't matter, whatever the store. And people stop and look at me. They don't look at him, they look at me. And so used to be like, oh, I know I'm tall. They notice me because I'm tall, right? And I'd be like I'd shrink a little bit. Now I giggle and I think, well, then I start to think, do I have like boogers on my nose or something, right? Is that why they're looking at me? And that's never it either. Now I realize they stop, they look at me, they'll make eye contact with me, and they hold that eye contact. I smile, and then I continue moving, and I think they feel my energy. I didn't realize that when I was a kid. I didn't realize that 20 years ago. People feel me, and I don't think, Regina, this is the other funny thing. They look at me and I smile, right? So then I think they look down like, oh, she caught me looking at her. And I'm just saying, hi, I love you, right? Like, to me, that's just a natural human response. But it's because they feel my energy. And it took me a long time to step into that because we're afraid of, do I have boogers on my nose, right? They that fear of I must look weird. I'm too big. That's why they're noticing me, right? All of that, I'm not good enough.
Yes. And that's a great point. It's taking up space. Can you imagine, Connie, if every woman knew herself so well, knew what she valued, knew what decisions she made, like know like you know, right? Like Lisa Nichols said, know like you know. If we all lived like that, can you imagine the kind of world we'd be living in? You see, to know a community is to know its women. And we have a lot of women walking around not knowing who they are, not living into their energy, not taking up space because they've been told to be quiet, to sit still, to not speak, to do the things. And we've all followed the rules for so long that's muscle memory.
Yeah.
And COVID has given us a chance, pandemic has given us an opportunity to break that muscle memory. Yeah. To spend time alone and figure out what we really want. And I encourage every single person listening, follow what your heart is telling you. Listen to what your body messages are, because it is the truth. And this is how you are to live moving forward. We are not supposed to go back to the way we were. We're not going back to normal. This is new and it's beautiful. It is scary and it is beautiful. And
it's exciting because what's coming, the innovation, just the skill that we're growing. 59, I'm going to be 60 this year. And people are like, oh, you're an expert on Zoom. How did you know that? I'm on it all the time. So it's almost like I was forced to understand this technology because I'm playing in this digital world now, where before everything was Connie live. Now everything is Connie digitized. Well, it's new worlds, right? So I don't care how old you are, you have to learn to play in that realm if you want to survive. And for me, it's not about surviving. I want to thrive. I want to shine. I want people to make money out there again, from a place of goodness, care, love, and respect, not I want to make money, let me push and push something on you. That's disgusting. I had a meeting with someone recently trying to get, like, support each other with business. And, we play with the same clients. And I said to her, I'll tell you right now, I want people who come from that love, care, and respect, and let's have fun and enjoy and build and create and support, right? And let's all rise with that tide. I go, the people who money is their motivator, not in my world. I will meet with them politely, but I always refer them to someone else. I refuse to let that energy into my life because it's disgusting, and it's just not where I want to play. I want to serve. I don't want to have to look at money, right? Money's great, don't get me wrong, but money shouldn't be the motivator. And the people I work with, we want to make more money, but we want to serve bigger. That's really the catalyst, not the money, right? The money's the output or the energy exchange. Really quick, we're out of time. If you had to, people listening, and oh, by the way, guys, the men that are listening, number one, all of this applies to you, like I said before. Number two, if you feel your wife is missing something and you love them, right? You want them to flourish, or your daughter, and you think, wow, I really want them to hear this. Please share the show with them. But I'm going to share Regina's contact information, website, and all of that. But maybe encourage them, or encourage yourself to look at this if you feel that you need a little bit of a change, or someone you love deeply needs a little bit of a change or strategy to build that confidence. 2 or 3 quick tips. They listen to the show. They go on their merry way in life. What is maybe 1 or 2? Let's give 1 or 2 action steps that they can apply to get results.
All right. One of the things that I would encourage women to do is to compliment another woman. You know how we see things? We see women and we think, man, she looks great, or man, I love those shoes, or man, I wish I could. Say it out loud. Speak it. We are getting to the point where we can actually talk without screaming through masks. So speak out give those compliments. There are women moving through their day who need to hear positive, even if it's good morning, you look beautiful today. If you feel that in you, speak it. Speak that beauty to another woman. The other thing that I would encourage all of you to do is in the first thing in the morning, if you're feeling like you're ready for something different, as soon as you open your eyes and speak gratitude for another day, put pen to paper, because your most brilliant thoughts are going to come out of you first thing in the morning. Really? Avoid touching your technology, avoid hopping on your computer, get pen to paper and watch what beautiful things your brain has to say, your heart has to say, because that's where it will come out.
So when I wake up, right, have a little pen and paper next to my bed, or a little pad or a journal or something. Pretty journals are always nice. And just when I wake up, think gratitude and then write what comes to mind. Did I understand that exercise properly?
Yes, and it doesn't even have to be at your bedside. I started coming into my office space in the morning before I went down, because if I went down and started my morning routine, dogs and coffee pots and clutter. No, I go right from my bedroom to my office. I sit in the quiet of the morning sunrise and I write before anyone is up in the house. So however you do it, however it looks, that's the most brilliant brain you have, and you must take advantage of that first thing in the morning.
Yeah, and I find in the morning, before I just take that quiet minute, I meditate for a few minutes in the morning, because it's the only time you have. Otherwise, then I'm running like a crazy person, like all of us, right? And that's when I get the downloads. Focus on this, or you need to do that. And I'll think, oh, where did that come from? Or one day, a person popped into my head and I thought, wow, where'd that come from? As soon as I got in my office, I sent them an email. I don't know why, thinking of you, just wanted to whatever. And we ended up having scheduling a conversation. We're going to do a show. It's just really funny why that name, no idea. It was a great conversation, right? So that's the genius that we have first thing in the morning before we're running. Like you said, let me unload the dishwasher, let me feed the dog, let me make the coffee, right? Let me jump in the shower, let me get on the treadmill, whatever it is. Yeah, we're crazy people. So everyone, I think you all need Regina in your life. I love hanging out with Regina. She's a new friend. And again, you're stuck with me, Regina. I think I said that the first time. You're in my orbit. I tease. Like you're in my orbit now. Like you're stuck to my gravity pull. Sorry, you can't escape.
I love it.
If you would like more Regina, please check out her website. It's reginacarey.com. So ReginaCarey.com. If you want to email her where you have a specific question or you just want to tap into her a little bit directly, go to her email, which is regina@plyovation.com, PLYOVATION. And I will put both of those email and website in the show notes for easy access. Don't forget, take your communication style assessment. Go to my website, whitmanassociates.com/CSA, brings you to the communication style assessment. Ton of free resources on my website as well, guys. Just go to whitmanassociates.com. Everything's there. Anything you need from me, trust me, you can find there. Regina, thank you for being on. What a great show. What a great energy. I'm in this I'm always high energy, but now I feel like I'm in the stratosphere of high energy vibration. So thank you for that. I love it. I really had fun just chatting with you today. So thanks for being on.
Thank you. My pleasure. And have a great day.
Yes, everybody have a great day. Men and women, not just women, men and women. And you guys, I hope you will join me weekly as we question, build, and discover together that no matter what change, challenge, issue, life, whatever you're in, I hope my guests and I provide some tips, ideas, strategies that you can apply today. Regina gave us two, right? That the one I truly love is waking up and writing in a journal or writing on a piece of paper or just writing down those first thoughts that come to your brain and see the wonderful gratitude that we really do feel before we get cluttered with the energy of the day or other people's energy in the office, right? That's another thing that I think affects us as well. So again, please put these strategies into place. For me, hearing it, applying it, and that's where you get the results. And the show for me is all about sharing these resources so that you can move the needle of change within your life. And whatever that means to you, my guests and I are truly here to support you. So again, thank you for tuning in. You've been listening to Enlightenment of Change with me, Connie Whitman, your host on webtalkradio.net. Thank you all for joining me, and I truly am honored to have you on this journey of change with me. And I always hope that you share the episode so that we share the love, share the energy, and share the knowledge so that we can all live maybe just a smidge easier in life. So thanks, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye.